Hello and welcome to the 700 Club. For today's top headlines, let's go to the CBN News desk.
Gordon, tensions are high between Israel and the Obama administration after the Obama team refused to veto a United Nations resolution just before Christmas and Hanukkah, attacking Israel over its settlements. Israel says that move has pushed peace even further away. Chris Mitchell brings us that story.
Israelis heading into the Hanukkah holiday were stunned, though not surprised by the UN resolution.
It means for Israel that the USA has decided to provide tailwind to rogue regimes which control the United Nations.
The UN resolution says Israeli settlements in the West Bank and eastern Jerusalem have no legal validity and demands a halt to Jewish building. The U.S. opposes settlements, but has always backed Israel at the UN.
We agreed that the Security Council was not the place to resolve this issue. We knew that going there would make negotiations harder and drive peace further away. And as I told John Kerry on Thursday, friends don't take friends to the Security Council.
Israel won the territory in the 1967 Six-Day War. About 500,000 Israelis live there in biblical Judea and Samaria and eastern Jerusalem. But Palestinians want it for a future state.
I'm encouraged by the statements of our friends in the United States, Republicans and Democrats alike. They understand how reckless and destructive this UN resolution was. They understand that the Western Wall isn't occupied territory.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump tweeted it would make it much harder to negotiate peace. Too bad, but we will get it done anyway. Senior Obama aide Ben Rhodes denied Israel had been ambushed, but said Trump's not in charge yet. Israel says it has proof that Obama himself was behind the resolution, which it will present to Trump once he's in office.
There's no doubt that the resolution is in sync with Obama's worldview, because according to President Obama, irrespective of reality, the Palestinian issue is the core cause of Middle East turbulence, the crown jewel of Arab policymaking, and the crux of the Arab-Israeli conflict.
Former Israeli liaison to Congress, Ambassador Yoram Ettinger, said Obama isn't a classic lame duck president, but will leave with thundering steps.
Those steps could be domestic steps, those steps could be global, those steps could be Mideast, but we ain't seen nothing yet, and we better wait between now and January 20th for further surprises from the White House.
So for now, Israel and many in the U.S. are watching and waiting and praying for a smooth transition of power. Chris Mitchell, CBN News.
President Obama and President-elect Trump have something else to disagree about. Obama says he would have won this year's election if he could have run again, but Trump responded by saying no way. Paul Strand has that story from Washington.
Donald Trump and Barack Obama only had nice things to say to each other as they met in the White House last month after Trump's election victory. But now Obama is saying if he could have run for a third time, he'd have beat Trump. Talking on his former advisor David Axelrod's podcast, he said,
I am confident in this vision because I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it.
But Trump tweeted right back, writing, President Obama said that he thinks he would have won against me. He should say that, but I say no way. Jobs leaving, ISIS, Obamacare, etc. Trump also blasted the United Nations after its anti-Israel vote last week, tweeting, the United Nations has such great potential, but right now it is just a club for people to get together, talk, and have a good time. So sad. The UN's action again sparked some calls for the U.S. to cut its funding. The U.S. pays more than a fifth of the UN's costs, and Trump is famous for wanting to get a good deal for whatever he's paying for. Meanwhile, Democrats say they're ready to fight against Trump's and Republicans' planned tax cuts. House and Senate Dems will attack them as cuts for the rich, saying they're not fair. But supporters say tax cuts worked under presidents like Reagan. And Trump and the GOP want such cuts because they believe the more money left in business people's and entrepreneurs' hands, the more jobs they'll generate, and that's the best way to bring back prosperity across the board. Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
Despite Democratic opposition, Republicans are likely to have the votes to cut taxes and simplify the tax code. And speaking of taxes, let's go back over to Terry with some advice about tax-deductible giving.
It's almost the end of the year, and that means time is running out for you to make a charitable donation that you can deduct from your taxes this year. Well, we'd like to encourage you to give to CBN. When you do, your gift helps bring food, clothing, and medical aid to people all around the world. And it's also used to spread the gospel. And because your donation is tax deductible, you're going to be saving money on your tax bill. So, in short, you'll be a blessing and you'll be blessed as well. So, will you call now 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. You can also log on to CBN.com. We'll be back with more of the 700 Club right after this.